Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue unpacking supposedly ocean/industrial age concepts. First translated by Japanese scholars and Chinese just easily borrowed over because Japanese have got kanji. Um, that's the same writing as Chinese. And I guess Japanese scholars did a good job in making sense of these Western concepts. And so today's 资本主义 is capitalism as the antagonist of communism. Communism. So capital, how to express that? The two characters picked by the scholars were capital, 资, fund, money, currency, wealth. We can all use 资 to express 本 means root of something or the principle, the foundation of things. So it's almost like foundationally things operated based on currency or fund or money. And that's what capitalism is about. It's about it's about the operation of the market force, right? Essentially I guess the nerve system, how market plays, transmit information through the money, where money goes, right? How the bloodline of the whole system flow, it's through money, through the fund. And another reading of this I intentionally translate as a principle because we know we have principle and interest, and that's how money create money. If you have the cash, you may be able to make more cash out of it by loaning it to somebody else, right? In today's world, there's ways to invest or to put in a money market, or somehow you have to use that money as the seed, as the principle, so that you can create more money as the interest. So somebody else taking the risk to make more money out of the existing money. So that's money centric. Okay. So how Chinese characters express that? What is money? What is fund? Okay. Money is made of the ancient currency, which apparently was cowrie shell, the type of curled up seashells. And probably because of its relatively durable, it's nature available. You don't need to mint it. And you just pick it up, and it's small enough and easy to transport. So all kinds of qualities make this particular type of seashells, used as the money currency symbol back then. So this is the symbol of the money. So what's the rest of them? The rest of them means sequence or follow. Okay, the sequence and follow is made of the three lines on top of the open mouth of this human figure. So we know Chinese human figure looks like this. It's leftward facing because Chinese orientation is forward facing, is leftward. So Chinese by default regard left direction as the forward. It's the reverse of the English default. Going forward would be pointing toward the right? Here's the opposite. And this human figure, when at the top open up, so you know it's kind of the top of this person, a human figure has three strokes, are the ears, kind of like yawning, this thing, going off air there. And that's some person's, I guess, the breathing out, the exhaling from that person. And two horizontal lines, two readings. One, you can regard it as heaven and earth. So that person yawning air out through heaven and earth, which is everybody constantly doing, right? We keep, not necessarily yawning, but we keep exhaling and inhaling. So there is this rhythm, right? The three strokes capture the cyclical and rhythmic in and out kind of vibration from humans, and that between heaven and earth. That shows I guess, the person is making an output to the world. And there is the sequence of heaven and earth first, and then humans next. And another reading of that, the two horizontal lines was the super simplification of icing. So ice, when ice form, they crystallize into a certain shape, and eventually that was streamlined and shaped into two dots. So we have the water symbol in Chinese as a 3 dots, but if you miss 1 dot, take the middle dot out. You only have 2 dots on the left side. That's the ice symbol. So when we have the ice symbol, I don't have people yawning. Okay, so scholars imagine, oh, this is lodging. So somebody to yawning means you want to rest, you want to have some shut-eye time, and this icy condition make you seek shelter. So it's kind of traveler's lodge, and you use that sequentially on your, I guess, long distance travel. You have to keep going to have your yawning place to take a rest, to escape from the icy outdoor condition. You have to stay indoor. So that's another far out imagined storyline to paint a picture of why it means a sequential. I mean, starts from this traveler taking a lodge, and then this traveler supposedly is going to take it sequentially because it keeps moving. So it has to take the sequential lodging at different points through space. So in any case, the symbol with 2 horizontal lines or just 2 diagonal lines eventually abstracted into, like here, and this yawning message imagery together combined to mean sequence. So sequence and money. What does it mean? It's almost equivalent of English cash flow, right? Because it's talking about the movement of currency. And this movement of a currency can provide bloodline to enterprises, provide energy, resources. So eventually this Z take on all that, take on the resources, the support, the bloodline of things. And eventually, because Japanese translate this as capitalism, eventually there's a Z, if we talk about just singular by itself, almost like the first response. We were trained, every one of us are predictive model. When we hear that, we almost point to first as the capital, the meaning of this cash flow based funding of things. Okay, 本 is a tree symbol. Canopy of the tree, upward pointing. Root of the tree, downward pointing arch, right? And connected back to the trunk. And then the third, this horizontal line intersect with the root simply is our arrow pointing. It's not something in the physical world. It's the human language abstract symbol to point your direction, direct your attention to the root part of the tree. And that means the foundation, the root. And in the context of how the cash flow works, it's the principle, the initial fund you put in there. And so together it's like a founding something, the foundational of founding something. And 主义, 主 means master, the candle holder. It looks just like the candle, right? And the moral is this sheep or lamp. Lamp is the best, the premium meat used as animal sacrifice meat, default meat. And that represents the best of, what we can sacrifice out of for. So eventually that becomes sacrifice, right? And then at the bottom is 2 hand-held weaponry connected together. And that this kind of a double sword imagery became the warrior. And that from the perspective of the language ultimate user, the emperor would be someone who have double sword weaponry, or in peacetime, it's double farm tool. So either as a weaponry or farm, this double sword / sickles holder would be the key defender of the kingdom, or the key production unit of the defender. So that's the concept of 我 means I and me as this nation defender, me as the nation builder, right? Somebody who holds the tool, depends on the condition, are valued members of the society. So that's the concept of I. And I attached to this best meat and sacrifice meat. This meat represents not only purity and the quality of the premium, but also it's associated with sacrifice, right? So it's talking to the divine. So it's kind of closest, the ideal that humans can aspire to. And therefore it becomes moral. Master moral is I guess, Japanese scholar translated as the ism portion. That means the main ideas, the master, the key concepts, or the theme song of something. And 资本主义 simply is the theme song of the money flow. All right. And I mean, we cannot do one-sided, like, okay, communism, right, eventually become totalitarianism. And the capitalism is not like pure gold and evil-less environment either. And look at this. This is somebody who is pointing out the big, the evil of capitalism, like embedded in there, because it's about money, right? On the one side, if you look at cash flow and you have the cash and expect the cash to create cash, money generates money. How things can go wrong? It's when you're the debtor. You borrow money, but you cannot return with interest. You loan or borrow, become a debtor, and then you're indebted to the whole system, and until the breaking point when you cannot handle it anymore and go bankrupt, something like that. So somebody have this till dead instead of death, tear us apart. So that's like, okay, another it's a commentary on capitalism, what that can do to people if you're not on the right side of the cash flow. All right. Thank you for your time. See you another day.